Hi guys, welcome to TechBased. In this video, we're going to talk about the huge Windows 11 25H2 summer update from August 2026. This is a very big update that introduces a lot of the Windows K2 features that Microsoft has promised, and this being released in the release preview channel means that in about 1 or 2 weeks time, we're also going to get these features on the main release of Windows 11, so that is great. In this video, we are talking about the build 26200.9267 or build code KB5120998. As I've said, this has been released to the release preview channel of the Windows Insider program, and here Microsoft releases builds that will also be released on the main release in the next few weeks time. So in this video, we're going to cover everything that is new related to this build and everything that you need to know, of course. And also for some additional features, a shout out to Phantom of Earth on Twitter or X.com for discovering them. We're going to have his Twitter link in the pinned comment below if you want to follow him for more Windows 11 features. So if you enjoy videos like these, don't forget to leave a like below and also subscribe to the TechBased channel with the notification bell activated so that you won't miss any future uploads like this one. So let's begin with the video. First of all, if you want to get this update and have the best chances of receiving all the latest features, we're going to have to open up the settings app, go to Windows Update, make sure you enable get the latest updates as soon as they're available, and then click on check for updates. And as I've said, this way you're going to have the best chance of receiving all the latest features. Don't worry, in the next few days, I'm also going to make a video in which I'll show you how to manually enable everything in this update, because you're going to have to run a few commands for different features in this update that are slowly rolling out as Microsoft has done before. So now let's begin with all the new features. First of all, Microsoft is introducing the new Movable Taskbar and the new Small Taskbar options inside Windows 11 on 25H2. If we're going to go to the taskbar, right click and then click on Taskbar Settings. Here you're going to notice that we have now a new section under Taskbar Behaviors, which is called Taskbar Position, and we can change our taskbar position from the bottom to the top, to the left, or to the right. So for example, if we move the taskbar to the top, as you can see, we have a nice animation that moves the taskbar to the top, and all the taskbar items are opening from the top, which I think it's pretty nice. As you can see, even the animations, even the taskbar thumbnails, and also this happens for the widget section, system tray, quick settings, and then the notification center. So I think that is great. And yet again, you can move the taskbar to the left if you want, or to the right. As you can see, the taskbar is pretty huge right now because I have an option enabled here, which is combine taskbar buttons. I'm gonna have to click on always so that it won't remain that huge. And also a nice little thing and the attention to detail from Microsoft under taskbar icon alignment. When you have your taskbar set to the right or to the left, the taskbar alignment changes from center to left to the top and center. Basically, you can move it to the center or to the top, whereas if you have it to the top, for example, you have the options left and center. So I think that is pretty nice. And yet again, for other positions, for example, the right position, all the items open up from the right side: search, desktops, windows, thumbnails, widgets, as you can see, system tray, quick settings, notifications, and so on. So Microsoft has done a really good job of polishing all these new features because they've worked on them for quite a few months, and I think these options are now quite polished. I really enjoy the taskbar animations that Microsoft is applying whenever you switch up the taskbar positions, and they are pretty fast if you ask me. Now, another option that Microsoft has introduced again is the taskbar size option. We can now change the taskbar from default, which is the default size, to the small size, which will change both the taskbar and the icons to the small size. You can leave the taskbar size to default, and you can only change the app icons if you want by going to the option at the bottom and selecting always. And this way, the taskbar will retain its size, but only the icons will be made a bit smaller. So I think that is also pretty interesting. So these are basically the main two new features that Microsoft has added related to the taskbar: the options to move the taskbar around with these nice previews here, and also the options to customize the taskbar even more by using the taskbar size or only the app icon sizes if you want to customize those. We also have some smaller taskbar improvements. For example, we have here a warning that tells us this setting is only available when the taskbar is set at the bottom, so the automatically hide the taskbar option is not working right now for whenever you have the taskbar set to the top, for example. Even though you enable it, it wouldn't work. This is something that Microsoft will work on in the near future so that it will work for other taskbar positions as well. Also, another thing that you may have noticed, whenever you go to taskbar settings, you'll notice that taskbar behaviors is now automatically expanded, so you no longer need to click on this to expand it and see all the settings. I think that is also a pretty nice improvement. And finally, related to the taskbar, Microsoft is improving the reliability when loading the system tray area of the taskbar on non-touch PCs. Next up, we're moving on to the start menu. The start menu has also received quite a few updates, and these are some big ones. One of the first things is that you can now customize all the start menu sections. If you right click on the start menu, then go to start settings, we're going to see that settings has now been redesigned to include all the start menu settings, and you can customize the pinned, the recent, and the all apps section. I think that is pretty nice, and you can turn them all off if you want to do so, and this is how the start menu would look if you turn them all off, which is pretty interesting. But you can also enable only the pinned section if you want to do so, and this is how the start menu would look. You can also enable the all apps section, and you have additional options, for example, show most used apps, and this will only work for the grid and list views only. This is also something pretty interesting. And finally, you also have the option to enable the recent section. You may be asking, well, what is this recent section? This is the old recommended section, which has been renamed to the recent section, and here you can turn it on and customize it as well, and you can basically show recently added apps, show recent and suggested files, and also show tips and apps recommendations. Basically, if you have this enabled, you're going to be able to see all these options. If I were to enable all the sections, you may see that I have this new recent section, which has been renamed both on the start menu and on the settings. In my opinion, I'm not using it, so I'm going to disable it. Basically, now you have an option by default in settings to disable the recommended section if you want to do so in the start menu. We also have some additional options, for example, start menu size. And here I'm going to have to go and change my scaling. I'm going to put my scaling to 100% so that it can see things better. If I were to open up the start menu, this is the default start menu size. I'm going to go to start settings, and I can choose from here the small start menu, and if I were to open it, as you can see, the start menu is now way smaller. Basically, you have three different options: automatic, which will use most of the times the large start menu if you don't have a high scaling. You have the small option, which will enable the small start menu, and the large option, which will basically enable the large start menu. Personally, I use it on automatic, and whenever I have the scaling too high, the start menu will be automatically changed to the small size. And finally, one last option inside the start menu is the option to hide your name and profile picture if you want to do so. At the bottom, you have a new option, hide your name and profile picture on start. If you turn it on, you'll notice that instead of your account info and your account, this will be just a placeholder image which says my account, and if you want to see your information, you're gonna have to click on this to open up all the information. This is also pretty useful, for example, if you're streaming or something like that, to hide your personal information from the start menu. So as you can see, Microsoft has also listened to users, and now the start menu is basically customizable in the smallest detail with this new layout options section. So I think Microsoft has done a really good job by allowing us to customize the start menu, and this way people can choose whether they just want the pin section or the all app section. For example, if I were to just leave the all app section, this is how the start menu would look. It's looking pretty good also in my opinion, but personally, as I've said, I'm using the start menu with the pin section and the all app sections enabled so that the start menu looks something like this, and I also like the category view better than the others. So these are all the new start menu sections that you can use to customize your start menu in the smallest detail. Now we're moving on to search, because Windows Search has also received a lot of new improvements in this update. For example, if I just open up search, you're gonna notice that this homepage has been completely redesigned and changed so that it shows you the most relevant information, and you're no longer gonna see ads or search highlights here in the right side as with the old search. And Microsoft is basically stating that Search Home is simplified to reduce visual clutter and make it easier to get back to recent searches quickly. And as you can see, it basically shows us recent searches, and we have labeled recent searches, for example, apps, web searches, system settings, and so on. And if you hover over different searches, you may notice that you have additional options that you can choose from. For example, an app, you can run it as administrator, you can pin it if you want to do so, or you can remove that search from the list if you want to do so. And as you can see, the options vary depending on the type of search that you've done inside Windows Search. Also, if you're searching for something, you may notice that this section has also been redesigned. Basically, Microsoft is now showing you better each search under a category. And as you can see, Microsoft is also stating that search does now a better job of showing where a search result comes from, such as an app, setting, file, web result, or Microsoft Store suggestion. It's easier to tell what you're looking at and where you'll go before you select a result. I think that is also pretty nice. But as you can see, these sections have been redesigned as well so that they're bigger, the font is bigger, the icons are bigger, to basically show you where that search result is coming from. So I think that is nice. And for example, if you're searching for wallpapers and stuff like that, you may also see previews of that certain wallpaper with additional options here, and certain files also have additional information such as location, the last modified, and options such as the open file location, share, and copy path. Now also, if you click on search settings, Microsoft has introduced a new section here which says show suggested search results, and this basically allows you to disable web searches, and Microsoft Microsoft Store searches. So for example, I delete all of these. If I search for something, Google or something like that, as you can see, the search results are pretty much empty because I've disabled web results and also Microsoft Store results. With them enabled, as you can see, if I search for Google, web searches will appear here as well. But as you can see, Microsoft is of course now prioritizing local files and local apps above the web results. This was possible before. As I've said, I've showed you some registry tweaks that you can apply to Windows if you want to disable web searches, but you can now do that directly from search settings. So I think that is great news for the general Windows 11 user, that we can now disable easily all the web searches and the Microsoft Store suggestions. So as you can see, Microsoft has also worked on the search section a lot to improve it, and I think they've done a pretty good job. In addition to that, you're also going to be able to see a new option here in search settings that hasn't been rolled out to me yet, and that is a new option to automatically index your most used folders, so those files appear in subsequent search results, and you can control that setting under privacy and security search, and the option will be called automatically find additional relevant information. You're going to be able to find it here somewhere at the bottom if you have it rolled out to you. So these are basically the main three highlights of this build: the new taskbar, the new start menu, and also the new Windows search. A lot of people expected all these new features to be related to the Windows 11 26H2 release, but 25H2 and 26H2 being based off of the same platform, I think Microsoft has decided, if they are completely done with the work on these parts, to release them on 25H2 even before the 26H2 release. So I think that is also a pretty nice move from Microsoft. Now let's move on to some additional new features. For example, the File Explorer Home will launch faster and will have a better performance, so I think that is also pretty nice. So basically, whenever you open up the File Explorer, you may notice that the home page is loading up way faster than before, and also the performance should be better than before inside the File Explorer homepage. And also an additional improvement to File Explorer, the recommended section on Home now supports touch scrolling, making it easier to browse files in the carousel, as Microsoft is stating. Microsoft has also redesigned the startup animation, restart, sign out, and so on to basically now match the Windows 11 design principles. And to show that, I'm gonna go and right click on the start menu, then go to sign out. As you can see, we now have a ring animation that matches the Windows 11 design principles, and not only some points that are moving around. As you can see, the new animation now matches the Windows 11 design principles, and this will be applied during startup, sign in, restart, shutdown, and also whenever you install an update. And I think that is looking really nice in my opinion. This new animation is now basically giving Windows 11 vibes. It took Microsoft only 5 years to add this, but better late than never, we may say so. There's also a new Windows Share option or feature in this update. If you select a file and then go to Windows Share, you'll notice that Microsoft is suggesting different apps, most of them from the Microsoft Store, and this basically allows you to discover and install relevant apps, as Microsoft is stating. But you can also change this experience from search settings if you want to do so. Just go on these three dots, Share Settings, and you can go below and disable Show Me Suggested Apps in Shared Surfaces, and Microsoft will no longer show you suggested apps. I think that is also a new option and a pretty good option that Microsoft has introduced, so that we disable the clutter from the shared surfaces. Microsoft is also introducing the new administrator protection, which was basically introduced before, later removed, and now it is coming back again. And Microsoft is stating that administrator protection aims to protect free-floating admin rights for administrators. It enables users to perform administrative tasks using just-in-time privileges, and this isn't classified as a formal security boundary. It hardens security against elevation of privilege attacks by introducing profile separation, and this feature is turned off by default and can be enabled using Microsoft Intune or through group policy. This feature is now beginning to roll out basically. As discovered by Phantom of Earth on Twitter@race.com, Microsoft is also providing improvements for devices that have just 8 GB of RAM, and also related to the desktop switch, Microsoft has introduced a smoother and more responsive animation whenever you're switching between desktops, so I think that is also a pretty nice improvement. We also have 5 different apps that have been receiving updates, and basically the video that I've done about the July 2026 app updates, those updates are now coming to the release preview channel and will also come to the main release in the next few weeks. To be sure that you have all the app updates, make sure you go to the Microsoft Store, then go into the download section, then click on check for updates. And this way you're going to receive all the app updates that you may be interested in. And now let's check out all the new improvements that Microsoft has applied. First of all, to the Notepad. Notepad app, Microsoft is applying a few fixes and improvements. For example, formatting is now applied properly when working with both .md and Markdown files. They have improved support for copying and pasting indented and nested lists, so I think that is also a pretty nice new feature that allows you to copy and paste indented lists. They also have improved support for concurrent print jobs across Notepad windows and tabs. They have also improved the launch performance of Notepad. Whenever you are opening it, you may notice an improvement in the launch performance, and they have also fixed an issue where underscore characters were sometimes rendered incorrectly. The calculator app has also received a few updates. For example, pressing clear or clear entry in scientific mode now properly resets the notation toggle and returns the display to the fixed point form. They have also fixed key conflict between clear all history and clear all memory, and they have also improved screen reader support inside the calculator app. In the new clock app update, Microsoft is stating that in focus sessions, tasks no longer disappear upon completion, and they have also improved accuracy of sunrise and sunset times, especially at high latitudes. The media player has also received a few updates and improvements. For example, improved support for local album art for albums without embedded artwork. The app now checks the album folder for common cover image files before searching online, so you'll see the right artwork more often. Also, disabled libraries now show a disabled message instead of appearing empty, and also improved track list rendering when changing sort order. And finally, moving on to the Photos app, the last app that was updated. For example, the photo viewer has now a refreshed design that puts the focus on your content and top actions like edit, print, and share. The updated file info pane now shows richer details about your photos, added support for saving HEC files in their original format while editing, added support for viewing SVG files in the photo viewer, and also improved the launch performance when opening and viewing photos. That is also something pretty nice because the Photos app was usually a bit slow to open files. And also a new photo gallery experience will soon be available as Photos preview in the app list. You can try it out and share feedback to Microsoft if you want to do so. Now moving on to some smaller improvements and fixes in this build. For example, related to display and graphics, this update improves the reliability when navigating to and interacting with settings, system, and display, and this update also improves the persistence of your previous brightness settings after energy saver turns off. Related to the task manager, this update improves reliability when displaying app history information in the task manager. Related to Windows setup, this update streamlines the experience for selecting a secondary keyboard during Windows setup, making it easier to skip when it isn't needed. And also this update improves the Get Started app with new app install, site pinning, and theme pages to help you personalize your device and discover new features. Related to Windows update in this build, Microsoft is announcing that this update improves restart behavior, so PCs that were manually put to sleep return to sleep after completing an update, even when automatic sleep is set to never. We also have some network improvements. This update improves resiliency and recovery from potential VPN-related background issues that can cause processes to stop responding, and this update improves the output of the net shwlan show wlan report command for Japanese users. Related to input, this update improves the reliability of typing with the Japanese IME by reducing potential hangs, and also this update improves the persistence of voice typing settings for automatic punctuation and the launcher. Also, the post-quantum cryptography algorithm MLKEM can now be used as a standalone algorithm for TLS key exchange in addition to the hybrid groups added previously. And also, the Windows Management Instrumentation command line is no longer included in Windows 11 starting with August 2026. This is also yet another obsolete feature that has been removed from Windows 11. So these are basically all the new features and all the changes that you'll see in the huge Windows 11 25H2 summer update. As I've said, most of these new features are slowly rolling out, so I'm gonna make an updated video in which I'll show you how to enable all the new features if you don't have them enabled on your system, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to leave a comment below stating your opinion on all these new features and what is your favorite, and of course, more information about everything will be in the article below in the video's description or on the official Microsoft blog post. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like below and also subscribe to the TechBase channel with the notification bell activated so that you won't miss any future uploads like this one. I was Emmanuel from TechBase. Until next time, have a nice day.